If you have spent any amount of money on shampoos that promise volume or serums that swear they will make your strands thicker, and your hair is still lying flat against your scalp or breaking off at the same length it has been for the last 2 years, it is not your fault. It is because the hair care industry has been selling you a cosmetic fix for a biological problem. And that is exactly why I put together the Artisan Hair Serum Vault. This is the exact set of DIY formulations that I, as a working trichologist, would actually make at home for my own hair. It is the Growth and Scalp Health Formulary, the Gloss and Polish recipes, 50 serum recipes built for every single hair type, and the advanced techniques that the salon industry charges you a premium for, all from kitchen-grade ingredients that actually feed the follicle. If you are tired of products that smell expensive but do nothing, the link to the full vault is in the pinned comment right below this video. Now let us talk about what is actually going to change your hair in 2026. My name is Aisha Carter and I am a trichologist. I have spent years looking at scalps under a microscope and reading ingredient decks the way most people read a good novel. And I am telling you right now, the conversation around hair thickness in 2026 is going to shift. It has to. Because we have been chasing the wrong target. We have been buying products that coat the hair shaft and call it thicker, when what we actually need are interventions that change the diameter of the strand itself, or increase the number of strands actively growing from your scalp. So I am going to give you 3 science-backed ways to actually increase hair thickness, not just make it look thicker for an afternoon. And I am going to tell you exactly what the evidence says, how long it takes, and what to buy versus what is marketing fluff. The first lever is scalp microcirculation. You have to understand that your hair follicle is a factory, and that factory requires a steady supply of oxygen and nutrients delivered through blood. If your scalp is tight, inflamed, or just poorly circulated, that factory is running at half capacity. The strand that comes out will be smaller in diameter, weaker, and it will fall out sooner. So what do we do about it? Scalp massage is not just relaxing. There is a 2019 study in the journal Eplasty that showed that daily 4-minute scalp massage led to significantly thicker hair after 24 weeks. The mechanism is mechanical stretch on the dermal papilla cells, which signals them to produce a thicker fiber. But you have to do it correctly. You are not just rubbing your scalp in circles. You are applying firm, consistent pressure with your fingertips, moving the skin over the bone, not just moving your fingers over the hair. Do it for 4 minutes a day. That is non-negotiable if you want to see a change in strand diameter. Then there is rosemary oil. This is not just a nice smelling essential oil. Rosemary oil has peer-reviewed evidence showing it works through the 5-alpha reductase pathway, the same pathway that finasteride targets, but topically and without the systemic side effects. A 2015 study compared rosemary oil to 2% minoxidil and found equivalent results in hair regrowth after 6 months. But here is what the marketing does not tell you. You cannot just dab a drop of essential oil onto your scalp and expect results. It has to be diluted properly in a carrier oil, and it has to be applied consistently. I recommend mixing 2 to 3 drops of rosemary essential oil per tablespoon of a lightweight carrier, like jojoba or grapeseed oil. Massage it into your scalp before washing, leave it on for at least 30 minutes, and do this 3 to 4 times a week. And then there's low-level laser therapy, red light. This is not a gimmick. The FDA has cleared many devices for hair growth, and the mechanism is real. The red light photons are absorbed by the mitochondria in the hair follicle cells, increasing ATP production, which essentially gives the follicle more energy to produce a thicker hair. The evidence is strongest for the 650 nanometer wavelength. You can get a quality laser cap or a handheld device, but the key is consistency. You have to use it every other day for at least 15 minutes. Do not buy a cheap device that does not specify its wavelength or power output. That is the fluff. The real deal will set you back a couple $100, but it works. Now, if you are sitting there thinking, okay, Aisha, I am circulating my scalp, I am using the right oils, but my hair still feels like straw, then we have to talk about the second lever, which is nutrition. And I am not going to give you a generic eat more protein lecture. I am going to give you the specific nutrients that drive cortex density. because the cortex is the thickest layer of the hair shaft, and that is where the diameter is determined. The first one is silica. Silica is a trace mineral that supports collagen synthesis and strengthens the hair fiber. You can get it from horsetail extract, from oats, from cucumbers, but the most bioavailable form is orthosilicic acid, which you can find in supplements. A 2007 study in the Journal of Clinical and Aesthetic Dermatology showed that women who took 10 milligrams of silica daily for 9 months had a significant increase in hair thickness and tensile strength. That is not a quick fix, but it is a real one. Biotin gets all the press, but here's the truth. Biotin deficiency is rare, and if you are not deficient, taking more biotin will not make your hair thicker. It will just give you expensive urine. What actually matters for most people is iron saturation. Iron is required for the enzyme that produces the hair shaft. If your ferritin level, which is your stored iron, is below 70 nanograms per milliliter, your hair will grow thinner and it will shed more. This is especially true for women who menstruate. You need to get your ferritin checked. If it is low, you need to supplement with iron bisglycinate, which is the most absorbable form, and pair it with vitamin C for absorption. Do not guess on this. Get a blood test. Omega-3 fatty acids are also critical because they reduce inflammation in the scalp and they support the lipid barrier of the hair shaft. A 2015 study in the Journal of Cosmetic Dermatology found that a supplement containing omega-3, omega-6, and antioxidants significantly improved hair density and reduced hair loss after 6 months. And then there is protein timing. Your hair is made of keratin, which is a protein. If you are not eating enough protein throughout the day, your body will prioritize other functions over hair growth. You need at least 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight daily, and you need to distribute it across your meals, not just eat a big steak at dinner. If your hair is brittle and breaking, look at your protein intake first before you buy another serum. If this is hitting home, I want you to know that the full Artisan Hair Serum Vault is in the pinned comment. It has the exact recipes I use to address these nutritional gaps and topical deficiencies at home without spending a fortune at a salon. Go check it out. The third lever is topical actives with peer-reviewed evidence. This is where the industry really tries to confuse you. They put a little bit of caffeine in a shampoo and call it a growth formula. But caffeine actually works. There is a 2014 study in the International Journal of Dermatology that showed that caffeine penetrates the hair follicle and counteracts the effects of testosterone, which can shrink the follicle over time. But the concentration has to be high enough, around 0.2%, and it has to stay on the scalp for at least 2 minutes. So if you are using a caffeine shampoo and rinsing it off in 30 seconds, you are wasting your money. You need to leave it on for 2 to 3 minutes, or, better yet, use a caffeine leave-on tonic. Then there are peptides. Peptides are short chains of amino acids that signal the follicle to stay in the growth phase. Copper peptides in particular, like GHK-Cu, have been shown in studies to increase hair shaft diameter and promote wound healing on the scalp. You can find them in serums, but again, the concentration matters. Look for a product that lists copper peptide in the top half of the ingredient list. And then there is ketoconazole. This is an antifungal agent that is often used in dandruff shampoos, but it also has anti-androgenic properties. A 1998 study showed that 2% ketoconazole shampoo was as effective as 2% minoxidil in promoting hair growth in men with androgenetic alopecia. It works by reducing inflammation and blocking the conversion of testosterone to DHT in the scalp. If you have a flaky scalp, or if you suspect you have pattern hair loss, a ketoconazole shampoo used twice a week can make a real difference. But do not use it every day, it is too drying. Now let me give you a realistic timeline. None of these interventions will give you thicker hair in a week. Hair grows at about ½ inch per month, and the changes to strand diameter take at least 8 to 12 weeks to become visible. That is because the new hair growing from the follicle has to push out the old hair. So if you start a scalp massage routine today, you will not see the full effect until about 3 months from now. That is not a reason to give up. That is a reason to start today. And the most important thing is consistency. You cannot do scalp massage for 3 days and then stop. You cannot take silica for a month and expect permanent change. This is a biological process, and biology does not respond to your schedule. It responds to consistent input. So to summarize, the 3 ways to increase hair thickness in 2026 are: 1. Improve scalp microcirculation through massage, rosemary oil, and red light therapy. 2. Address your nutritional levers, specifically silica, iron, omega-3, and protein timing. And 3. Use evidence-based topical actives like caffeine, copper peptides, and ketoconazole at the right concentrations. Do not fall for the marketing fluff that promises instant results. The real results come from understanding the biology and being consistent. If you want to take this further and actually make your own professional-grade serums at home, the Artisan Hair Serum Vault is waiting for you in the pinned comment. It has everything from the scalp health formulary to the gloss recipes that will make your hair look like you just walked out of a high-end salon, except you made it yourself with ingredients that actually work. Do not let another year go by wishing your hair would change. Go open that pinned comment and start building your own hair care arsenal today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.